Hello everybody, my name is Caden, and welcome back to our Prehistoric Fauna series. I was about to say exhibit, but this is... Anyway, let's forget the intro. Today, we are building an exhibit that is gonna be a bit weird for this video. Namely in the fact that, I'm gonna be completely honest, this exhibit is terrible. It just ended up not being very good. And you guys will kind of see by the end of this. It's not the worst thing I've ever built for one of these zoo series, but it's definitely not the best. And to be honest, well, you'll see. Basically, by the time we get to the end shots and cinematics, whatever you want to call it, it's basically a fairly... Well, okay, there's a lot of things that are very similar between the current exhibit you'll see at the end of the episode and the final build. Basically, I just kind of fixed everything I didn't like, and I went back and did this, well, about... I was about to say a month, probably about, well, almost a month, about 3 weeks after I built this build. Like I've said in the previous ones, I'm already working on the Jurassic area, and for the end cinematics for this video, I went back and rebuilt a lot of the exhibit to look nicer, or basically just smoothed out the rough edges, and have shot the end cinematics then, or reshot them, because I did not like how the build looked, and I wanted to make it better for you guys. But anyway, with that out of the way, once again, I have completely forgotten the name of the animal we're building for. Typical Caden fashion. It's basically just like a little, Dryosaurus type thing. Chromogisaurus, Chrome Dinosaur. There we go. Chrome Dinosaur. Basically little Dryos. They're very cute. But yeah, we got the typical rock wall. We got a weird little planter in the center. Basically, I think the issue with this build, right? And actually, Compsognathus might be a better analogy for like people who are trying to think of the size or proportions of this animal. And this actually hits on something I talked about in the last video, where last time I talked about like, I've used a lot of reference images from real life animal exhibits to kind of figure out how to build things. This is the one build I didn't do that for. Yeah, I think this is actually the single build I've done where I didn't. This build, and actually I think, what was it? I built the Herrerasaurus, the two small mammal-like animals, the Siliceucus, and this guy. These four animals were built pretty much over 2 days. And this was the last one I built at the end of that spree. And I think I just kind of ran out of ideas creatively, and I was just kind of going with the moment instead of doing a bunch of research to come up with what I was going to do. Because, to be honest, I don't think this exhibit quite works. It feels more like, since I didn't take any reference images and was basically just kind of going off whatever I thought would look cool, it has a lot of the right concepts. Good rock wall, good visibility, fencing, so that way visitors can see in really easily. There's a good shelter area, there's a staff area, there's an integration with the planters and the rest of the build. The vegetation is well done. There's a lot of things that individually work really well in this enclosure. The problem is, A, they did not mesh well together for the most part, and B, they don't fit the dinosaur very well. This is far too big of an enclosure for the animal I'm placing it, or at least not the right kind. I think this is an exhibit that really harkens back to something I would have built in, say, the Alex's Mob Zoo we did, or some of the old ZAWA zoos, or even the old dinosaur parks. Not to say it's bad or anything, it's just, it's very much got that thing of, I came up with a style 3 or 4 years ago, and I kind of just stuck with that. Not to say, I'm not still repeating that style now for the majority of these builds. Obviously, I'm still kind of doing similar things to what worked. But this kind of fell back, I think, on a lot of those, and therefore it doesn't feel like a zoo exhibit. It feels like, I don't know, it feels weird. It's got a weird kind of energy to it. It's got things that work, just not together. And I think, if I'm honest, I'm trying to think of the animal this actually would have worked for, and I can't really think of it. The closest thing I'm thinking of is like an actual Dryosaurus, but if you scaled it up, I think this would be a really good Gallimimus type of exhibit. Good amount of open space, it's not too hilly, it's got a very much kind of like zebra kind of shelter. I think this probably would have been better for something like that, rather than what it is for. Anyway, this is a fairly short build, so I'm probably not going to talk too much longer. We did bring the custom trees back though, so that's cool. Again, I think it's just one of those builds, you'll see in the end cinematics how I kind of fixed it. But yeah, anyway, I don't know, it's just funny to me because I can't really go back and record the time lapse again because you would see absolutely everything else I've built since then, which I don't really want you guys to see yet. But yeah, I mean, at the same time, I think it's always good to, you know, occasionally show when you mess up a build or, you know, stuff like that. Like, I don't always make a good exhibit. I mean, I did go back and fix it at least, but, you know, sometimes you can have a lot of good ideas and you can know all the things that work, but slap them together and it doesn't. And yeah, anyway, I'm just trying to make this sound like there was a point to this episode when maybe there wasn't. Anyway, that's about all I have to say. So thank you all for watching. I hope you've all enjoyed, and enjoy these last couple of end shots and the fixed exhibit.